With Western tanks now on their way to Ukraine, here's our video on the ultimate tank of World War II. The T-348 was developed in secret by the Soviet Union in only 6 months. It featured a powerful new engine, an insane fire control stabilization system, and its rivals couldn't penetrate it. This forced the Soviets to develop a tank that could not only fight off German infantry and smaller vehicles, but could withstand hyperwood rounds from the 88mm guns. Its wide horizontal surfaces allowed it to move easily through the thick, muddy Russian snow. They also angled the armor to make it more effective at deflecting incoming fire. Gone was the old wide design that could easily be penetrated by German artillery, but even if it missed, the chances of getting penetrated was slim to none. You see, the Germans relied on high-velocity, high-powered rounds to take out enemy tanks. Well, it turns out the T-3485 had a fatal flaw. You see, while the frontal armor was incredibly thick, the rest of the tank was not. In fact, the armor on the side of the vehicle was only 45mm thick, which is comparable to the T-72 main battle tank of the 1970s. This meant that while it was nearly impossible to penetrate the front of the vehicle, it was still relatively easy to get it from the side. But the T-3485 was designed specifically to withstand those very rounds. The frontal armor on the vehicle was nearly 10 inches thick, which was enough to stop even the most powerful German anti-tank weapons. In its place was a smaller, more manageable turret with a cast steel roof that was sloped at a 45-degree angle. It was too late to participate in the Battle of Berlin, but it did see some action during the final days of the war. In total, only about 2,000 were ever built. As a result, many of the T-3485s broke down after only a few miles. The original T-34 was such a reliable design that the Soviet military didn't want to change much about it. But by 1944, the enemy had new weapons that required a new solution. The T-3485 may not have been the most reliable vehicle, but it was a fast, well-armored beast that helped the Soviets win the war. And that's why it's our pick for the ultimate tank of World War II. And that's not exactly what you want in a fast-moving armored vehicle. And while previous T-34 models featured a 76.2mm gun, the 85 boasted a brand new 85mm cannon with a semi-automatic loader. It could shoot high-powered armor-piercing rounds that were perfect for taking out enemy tanks. They then equipped it with a new diesel engine that was more fuel-efficient and produced 600 more horsepower than the previous model. The result was a fast, stable platform that could keep up with the rapid advances of the German army. And by 1941, it was the most capable tank in the world. But by 1944, it needed an upgrade. To achieve this, they turned to one of their most reliable designs, the T-34. So why hasn't it been used more often? Well, it turns out there was a reason why this super tank remained relatively unknown. By 1944, the German army had become increasingly effective at fighting on the Eastern Front thanks to the introduction of powerful long-range artillery like the 88mm. The T-34 was introduced in 1940 and quickly became the backbone of the Red Army. So the Soviets created the T-85. The engineers shortened the length of the tank by 14 inches and widened it by 6 inches. But that wasn't all. The real star of the show was the new turret. In fact, the fire control stabilization system on this bad boy was so good that it could easily hit targets at night on the move through smoke. After extensive testing, the T-3485 was accepted into the Red Army in April of 1945. So why haven't we heard of it? To make matters worse, the new turret was incredibly heavy, which put a lot of strain on the engine. In the end, the T-3485 was a victim of its own success. If you enjoyed this video, check out our other content for more stories like this. Thanks for watching.